Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3, where I wanted to start today with just a little bit of context. So, we have seen a lot of maps so far, right? There's all this stuff going on in the mountains, and then there's the Southlanders, and down here we have like what I've been describing as pretty distant threats, right? The Wood Elves of Lorelorn, and beyond that, the men of the Empire, here's Midland and whatnot, like... Just to give you a sense of the world we're playing in, all of that space, here's what it is on the world map. We are just looking at the tiny little like bottom left corner. The actual playable space in this game is so much larger, and also so alien and mysterious to me. Like, a lot of this is stuff that it didn't really exist prior to Total War Warhammer 3. Like, Creative Assembly created a lot of this eastern land. I'm very, very eager to see what all is over there. For the moment, though, we have some near-term problems we got to deal with. There are still an awful lot of goblins and orcs around the Altar of Spawns, and it is looking more and more like we are going to be responsible for dealing with that because our allies can't stop marching back and forth.
You will soon have a taste.
Who are you? What is your deal?
And skulls as I do.
Okay, we're basically friends. We're already non-aggression pacted. Okay, sure, I am not concerned about the exiles of Khorne showing up on my shores. They are potentially friendly. What a sentence. So...
Demon Prince.
We want to get some basic defenses up around the Bay of Blades. What is Hama's army? I love this, though, by the way. The fact that now when you hover over an army, you get in the tooltip a snapshot of the troops you know of. So they have a lot of stuff. It's all pretty weak, though. If my army was at full health, I would say that I think we could beat that quite easily. You know what?
It serves chaos.
Let's stop doing the sneaky thing. We're just going to sit in the Bay of Blades and heal up as quickly as we can while we wait for it to finish upgrading so that I can unlock the extra building slot so that we can actually install a real garrison here. Do I want to... We could do that thing where we combine some of our most damaged units again and then just hire in new bodies, and we'd probably get healed up faster overall because, like, these units are really torn up. It looks to me like we'll be sitting here for 2 turns this way. That's probably okay, right? And then we are, I think, not going to do any other main settlement upgrading. I want to save the population because we have a pretty significant amount of growth here. We could get to the 4 population we need for this. And honestly, yeah, even the 8,000 favor is not really going to hold us back much. I think we save for that. And then once we have the Bay of Blades defended, maybe we go up and we crush the goblins, because I'm not really afraid of an army of goblins, basically like any composition. But if we're going to let them just form like 3 or 4 full stacks of units up there, that does feel like at some point they will become a threat. Yeah, and I don't think Hama has any intention of actually attacking the Bay of Blades. I think it's just raiding for cash sake. The Orthodoxy dominates. The Great Orthodoxy has succeeded in drawing more supporters to its side. For now, the Ice Court has to acknowledge the supremacy of the Orthodoxy, but things may change in the future. I have no idea how their mechanics work. This means nothing to me. Maybe we should play them next just so that we can figure it out. There's some pretty wild stuff going on to the east, though. We might jump over there. This is a distant concern. We don't need to be thinking about the next campaign just yet.
Hellish power.
So I think I want to stay put for one more turn, unless it makes more sense to... No, even in full march mode, you wouldn't be able to get near the Doom Keep. Like, these 2 armies together, I am concerned could be a real threat to us. But the Doomkeep currently has garrison details. Doomkeep currently has a garrison of a bunch of demonettes. Yeah, like this is actually pretty scary. This is not a trivial thing to get through. They have an Allurus of their own. What about the outpost? Is the outpost actually... It doesn't look like it's providing any troops to our garrison. I thought it said that was the thing that it... Well, whatever. We'll worry about it later. I think we're going to leave our lord... We're going to leave everything in place for this turn. I am really curious what this force of Khorne exiles is going to do. I don't know what that second meter near their army health represents. We're going to be discovering a lot of people's mechanics this game, slowly. All right, and we're going to have to do something about those wood elves, because apparently they are just going to keep harassing us.
The Tome of Fate calls to me, foretelling of a way to elude the maelstrom and enter the realm of chaos. The dying god will roar again. We must prepare. Muster an army that can withstand the terrors you shall face.
I'm going to be honest with you, I thought that's what I was already doing. Defeat 6 Kislev, Cathay, or Empire armies in the field. That's a shame. I'm not going to get any credit for fighting these wood elves. Well, there's a lot of favor behind it. Ah, I see. So these have opened up now. We must visit each realm and steal a soul from a demon prince. Only then can we confront Be'lakor. For it is these souls, one from each of the great powers merged together, that shall light the hidden path to the forge. Are we racing? Is that why I have vision of all of the other... Okay, that's really interesting. I wonder how we actually do that.
Supreme Champion.
We've gained the trait Grievous. Okay, cool. Spend time in a settlement with low control to learn how to improve control.
This world will burn.
All right, and now that we have a little bit of growth here, we can construct a proper defense building. Plus 50 defensive supplies per turn while under siege. It doesn't really provide that much of an extra garrison. I'm surprised. Actually, hold on a second. What's the next level above that? It's still only 4 extra units. The next level above that does add walls to the settlement, as you can see there, and that is a big deal. Oh, when outside Ogre or Norskin homeland adds walls. We cannot even get walls around these settlements. Well, it's not ideal, but like the extra garrison is definitely going to be helpful. So maybe I don't bother pursuing the next upgrade. We do get a better version of the port, you know, a hell port, if we pursue the other upgrade, which I guess is something. Hold on, is there a building here that's comparable to... Oh no, we can actually just build Carnal Dens, which actually gets us a larger number of total garrisoned troops. And if this isn't even going to provide walls, the only thing it's really doing for us is the defensive supplies. But I think I would rather have this. Yeah, I think so. That's very interesting. So then some of the value of going up to tier 3 here would be we unlock the slot to build the garrison building as well, and then we would have a real full-size garrison defending the Bay of Blades. Something to perhaps consider.
Unwise.
All right, so there's a storm ravaging the Bay of Blades right now. I mean, it sure looks like you're just sailing straight to the longship graveyard. We could try to intercept them in the water. I don't know if I want to do a naval battle with them. And I mean, there are no naval battles in Total War Warhammer. Oh, hey, a shipwreck. I should probably actually care about that.
The ice trembles before me. Stragglers will be slain. On hell's
If you run two armies and ships into each other, you just have a sort of inexplicable land battle, and that's just the way that is. And it's fine. I don't necessarily need them to develop naval mechanics, but I have thought that that's a pretty pretty goofy solution. The way it was before they implemented that solution was that any battle that occurred in the ocean was just auto-resolved, and obviously that's worse. So I don't know. It seems like it would be a lot of trouble to develop a whole naval combat system. Boy, that sure is just like a lot of goblins. I'm trying to be ready to defend against the wood elves, but oh, are the scalings actually going to make something happen here? Okay, we're seeing some proper aggression. Oh, maybe you do intend to attack the bay. The Red Room. A shimmering rift appears, beyond which lies a zigzagged floor bounded by crimson curtains. The room is empty, save for 4 bone-white plinths, each of which bears an eldritch icon. The dark gods wish to know where your loyalties lie. Well, it does seem like it would be pretty silly for us to take a bonus with anybody other than Nurgle or Slaanesh. But like, this doesn't actually necessarily have anything to do with our dedication. It looks like more who do you want to be friendly with, and in that case, it may actually make sense to take the corn thing. So we have the Howling Chalice, the colossal goblet carved from a great skull of unknown origin, houses a gallon of boiling blood. Drinking deep of it will definitely make you sick, like for real. Here we have a Screaming Tome. The nine-eyed, twisted face upon the hovering book's leathery cover tries to tear itself free at your approach. It seeks to bond itself to your flesh. No thanks. I have a constantly screaming twisted face already. I'm good. The Crystal Vial houses a lilac fluid. Its scent intoxicating. You sense that dousing yourself with it will cause indescribable agony, but render you irresistible. Or the Droning Tumor, which is maybe the worst kind of tumor. The yellow growth palpitates horribly. The thought of forcing the pulsing, reeking malignancy down your throat is nauseating, but it would earn the Flylord's love. They are really going for it, and I do appreciate that. I think a lot of games would hesitate at using this kind of text in a thing where you have to do one of them. I think Howling Chalice. We have some Cornate factions right on our doorstep. It probably makes sense to let them know that we are on the same team. Okay, so we did get the Greater Garrison.
Step too far.
It's going to be 8 turns until we have enough population to upgrade the Doomkeep. But when we do that, we do get 2 more building slots. I think I want to save for it. If I upgrade this, it goes from 5 units to 6 units.
Denied.
Do I think that Hamathane Frost can get through that garrison? Yeah, probably. Ugh, we really need to run a second army. I don't want to pay for it. We're getting raided in a very serious way here. Is there any way that I could get you to just like go away? Can we get a peace treaty? Don't you have other problems? Because if we get the Wood Elves to lay off for a while, I think it would be very helpful. Okay, no, that's not going to happen, is what they're telling me. Well, maybe we need to just go down there and take that forest away from them. So we won't get anything special out of it, but we can burn it down so that there are no more elves. I don't know that I would even want the territory. It seems like it'd be a real pain in the ass to defend it.
My wrath thaws this frost.
All right,
Aid my conquest.
we're gonna do our level best here. I think I'm gonna hide in the trees,
I go where I please.
hoping the elves will make landfall near the Longship Graveyard without realizing that we're there. We are not going to do any of this. Actually, do I want to... Can't really hide in the trees any closer. Okay. That goblin army has been crushed. Which is good news for us. Yeah, it is going to be hard for us to hold Norscan territory if we can't get walls up around our settlements. I'm definitely concerned about this. No, that's exactly what I did not want to happen. They're going to sail to the farther north thing just to make it more of a pain in the ass to stop them while also keeping the bay safe.
Chaos incarnate.
Well, I guess...
For the ruinous powers. In search of conquest.
I am going to pursue them, because I don't think we really have a choice. It's pretty important that we maintain our thing here. I don't want to try to tell my allies to do this, because I think my allies are actually going to be useful against the goblins. I don't want to disrupt them in any way. Okay, we keep trying to ambush people, and so we're slowly getting better at it. I have no idea what all these goblins are doing down here. They're probably intending to attack the longship graveyard. Okay, hooray, violence against the goblin armies. However, they did lose a battle, embarrassingly enough. Alright, everybody thinks it's a good idea to attack the longship graveyard. And nobody thinks I'm here to defend it, so this has worked out in our favor, actually.
Demon Prince.
So they stayed in the water. For some reason, they sent their hero home? It is a shame that they stayed in the water. If they'd gotten up on land, we would get the reinforcements from the longship graveyard when attacking them. As it is, it's going to be a much more even fight, but I kind of think we have to go for it.
Presents no challenge.
Oh, they have a lot of great eagles. I think that's actually to our benefit. Great eagles are not very good fighters.
Annihilation.
The benefit that you get from a great eagle is all about the mobility and stuff, you know? So if we just fight them... If we just take the auto-resolve here and get it over with, sadly, we will lose a bunch of units that we'll lose a handful of units that we cannot easily replace. That said, I don't actually think the Nurgling Swarm is valuable at all. It seems to be, like, borderline impossible to use the damn thing. The question is just, like, am I cool losing my pink horrors? I think the answer is no, and I think we can keep them alive if we do it manually, so let's do it manually. I think we can handle this. Yeah, the Nurglings seem like a really slow version of a poison cavalry unit, and we're going to have Seekers of Slaanesh available to hire in again before too much longer. Once the Doomkeep has more building slots, we'll be able to actually put up some recruitment structures. So I'm not too worried about losing them. It doesn't seem like we're going to get the ability to recruit any ranged units from the Slaanesh stuff, though. So we're going to have to take some settlements somewhere and devote them to Tzeentch. I mean, Nurgle probably... I don't know. We'll have a look at the unit unlocks, because we really do need to have some recruitable ranged units. I'm cool with that. I think that's an okay amount of magic. This thing seems very significant. Just a totem to Tzeentch in the middle of the battlefield. So yeah, you can see it's just sort of like, oh, you got out of the water. Here's the coast. Y'all just got out of the water to do your fighting. which, as solutions go, is fine, I guess.
The eternal hunters!
So, do we want to just... Part of me thinks we want to just, like, ball up here. I don't know that trying to do a lot of flanking tactics is going to be very useful against this army in particular, because they have such a huge number of fast-moving flyers and fast-moving archers. Like, anybody who's out of the formation is just going to get chopped up immediately.
The demon prince!
Here's what I'm going to do. Let's just move up and take control of this copse of trees. The game actually does simulate the flight path of each projectile, so stuff like trees gives you some significant defense against archers, because the arrows will collide with the trees and not hit your units. My guess is they're not going to do anything at all. They're going to just sit here and wait for us to make the first move. That would be the smart play. Because they have this massive advantage, right? They have this massive advantage as long as they're not moving. Like, look at the range and the width of the cone on this unit. It's going to be very difficult for us to approach without taking very serious losses. That said, difficult and impossible are not the same thing. I'm going to try something here.
Mortal foot!
This will be
The lash... the lash probably does not outrange their arrows. My guess would be that it does not.
Demon prince!
I'm going to see if they will respond to me moving my prince over here. Okay.
Ringing
Oh, right. They have more archers than it seems like because they have stealth
prince
units.
moving. By
But yeah, what I want to do most is just try to draw them out.
by chaos!
And it looks like it is totally working.
Without mercy! The dark gift unleashed!
I can't imagine this is going to take very long. Like I said, the Eagles actually totally suck as combat units. So now that they've moved some archers out of position, we can start sort of like picking at them piecemeal. We've actually done a lot of damage to our Lord already, which is really pretty disappointing considering. We have this shield and everything, and that's a single unit of low-level archers, like low combat tier archers. Very, very annoying how effective they are.
Demon prince! The place of conquest!
deliver unto Slaanesh.
Just moving as fast as she can.
Children of Aggro!
Okay, well, those Chaos Furies are actually still doing a fair amount of damage to those archers. And, like, the Chaos Furies are pretty much garbage units, so happy to get any value out of them at all. If I try to move you to here, that's, like, right at the edge of where the enemy is able to hit us. So, yeah, this Eagle's going to basically die for free. Our Lord took a ridiculous amount of damage from the initial group of archers, like really silly amount.
Sensuous diversions.
The Demon Prince! Repositioning!
The pleasure
Fall back,
is
fall
all
back, fall
mine.
back.
Carnage unbound!
Looks to me like this eagle is willing to come all the way back here, which is great news for us.
Prosperous!
And we're getting to charge up our favor abilities. How are you still walking forward? God, the range of my ranged units is so much lower than the range of theirs. It's wild. Nope, I'm still trying to get you to... There we go. Because I think we're going to have to bail the Lord out.
I will raise it. Spread it.
Even with a shield. Even with a shield.
Who can I play with?
So yeah, basically we just need to bait them forward.
The demon prince.
Keep bringing the eagles over here.
Behold my divinity.
Paramore of Slaanesh.
Maggot kid. Agonizing death.
Alright, we have actually gotten some of them to move up. Now keep in mind, they can only see about half of my units.
Souls for Slaanesh.
So my hope is that they will get close without... They'll get close to our melee without realizing they're getting close to our melee.
Demon prince. On immortal foot.
Turns out plague drones can fight giant eagles all day long. That shit just works. All right, on to the Glade Guard. For some reason, okay, having a hard time issuing my attack orders here. So their heroes coming forward. We're gonna have to be like pretty careful with Iglixis, which is like very annoying. It's the Blade of Corn, a huge explosion area. It's not that huge. We want to wait until combat is joined, probably. Relentless Rage. Entities cannot die while this buff is active. 20-second duration. That's interesting. If we have 3 bars charged up, I wonder if using the second level ability only actually spends 2 of the bars. That's how I would like it to work, but that's not necessarily the same thing as that being how it will work. Okay, we'll throw a lash across you really quickly. And then, like, honestly, once we've started moving toward the archers here, these archers back here are going to be able to fire at us safely. So this is going to get a little messy pretty quickly. I think we're going to want to advance on them. Yeah, Iglixis can't really fight anymore, which is a huge shame. I'm actually going to have these Chaos Furies just dive bomb those units. Chaos Furies are cheap and replaceable and kind of bad units, it feels like. You lot should try to form up just inside the trees. We're going to keep the Bloodletters back because they will get just mulched by arrows. Yeah, the lashing. The lashing is very serious against these archer units.
Power of an immortal.
Okay, we have run them off the side of the map. So here comes the melee charge, which will hopefully tie them up at least a little bit. It does kind of seem like our unit's not very sticky. Enemy archers just sort of walking away from us. What are the odds you could push all the way through to there? Because I think it would be great if you could pull it off. Maybe we should have... Hey, you know what? I'm going to have this unit break that way. Now, the best thing for us here, obviously, would be to just rush these archers directly. I don't know how feasible that's going to be. Obviously, the spears will try to stop us. Should we just drop the hammer like back here? I'm just gonna do it. Let's see what it does. Let's see how good it is. You would think it would be pretty significant given the work you have to do to set it up. think we're gonna plan to have the blue horrors actually come around here. If the Chaos Furies are able to get onto some archers and not get mulched by other archers, they do their job very quickly. You're coming in, and you have orders. Okay, sorry, I'm jumping back and forth the same units a bit here. I'm just trying to make sure. And these Nurglings have kind of no role. Just charge forward, I guess, and help with the eagles. All right, let's watch this go off. Let's see how good is the Great Sword of Khorne. Okay, I mean, that's a pretty significant amount of damage.
Demon Prince. I will conquer.
Okay, looks like we have managed to tie up all of the archers in melee. So we have some good stuff going on here. We have actually, you might have to turn around and fight these spears for me, because we don't really have another unit in position to deal with this. This eagle is going to get completely run over by our wizard. This is a terrible move on the eagle's part. That's not even going to be close. All right, y'all focus up here, because I don't think we're going to be able to disengage any of the marauders on this side from the thing they're doing right now, and also I kind of don't even want to.
Unbridled chaos. Power of an immortal.
Actually, by the time Iglixis got there, it was barely necessary for him to be there at all. Let's get over here and provide some poison. What I would like to do now is throw the big debuff down on their lord. If I overcast this, does it become an area spell? No, it just becomes more effective. Okay, well, I'm going to do that. Just remember, casting is giving us some flat buffs. Yeah, most of their units are not actually capable of standing up to us in melee at all. It's just the only thing about this that was difficult was making sure that we didn't get wrecked by the huge flood of arrows. Now that that is passed, the battle is done, basically. These units down here could use a little bit of support. We could probably get a Glixis over here fast enough for it to matter.
Sensuous diversions. Onward. Delight.
Okay. Lots of people should be breaking here.
Brutalize them.
Archers that are running away, but not permanently broken, need to be pursued.
The Demon Prince.
Let's try to take a slightly better position for the explosion.
Glorious annihilation.
Okay. There we go. We managed to keep all of our ranged units, like, super alive. Even in situations where you don't necessarily, like, numerically outperform the battle prediction, doing things manually lets you sort of craft your losses in a really important way. Obviously, had I the fullness of my favor there, I would not have taken 80% of Iglixis' health and damage in the first 8 seconds of the battle, but still I'm pretty happy with this version of the outcome. We lost. The only thing we actually lost was a unit of Chaos Furies, which is like extremely whatever. And that was really all it takes. It's just getting them to move some things forward out of formation. Like the second the corner of their formation came apart, we were able to use it to just unravel the whole thing. We're starting to get some of our Marauders of Slaanesh up to some pretty high levels. So the way this works is they gain bronze chevrons until they have 3. Then the next time they level up, it swaps to silver. So you can see this is unit rank 4, and then after 3 silvers, it becomes gold. And at 3 golds, they rank out. Or they max out, rather. I think we're going to keep devoting to Chaos Undivided here. Oh, that's cool. We uncovered a poisoner.
Demon Prince.
So we can pursue and shall. Okay, if we take the auto-resolve here, we don't actually lose anyone.
Face of chaos. Chaos.
And then back to the settlement for a little bit of healing. We've gained access to a new kind of tail. Okay, this one's like not super compelling. The Fanged Prince. Yo, those set bonuses are pretty cool though. I do like all glory gained plus 7%. So, spiked torso and fanged wings. And we do not yet have all the pieces for this. So, I would gain some missile resistance. I would lose some armor, which obviously is already helping against missiles. I think I'm going to keep the Armored Sentient Tail for now, but when we have all the pieces for that set, we may revisit that decision. And also, we gained 2 skill points. Out here, murdering the heck out of people.
Benediction from the gods.
Being aggressive certainly has a lot of value. Because like a good character leveled up can really exert an outsized presence.
Corrupted from within.
Gosh, it takes so long. Even with all of our growth bonus focus, it still takes so long to grow things. Alright, well, we've repelled one group of raiders. The goblins are being repelled by our cornate friends here. We can potentially, if we get all the stuff in our lands under control, we could potentially kill this group of Norskins that keeps raiding us. Looks like the men of the Empire are having some problems with some ogres. Don't really know anything about how ogres play. Okay, the Greylings are looking like they're actually going to solve that problem for us, which I really appreciate. Oh, another network of Noblars. So we could pick up a Siren Standard, which is a thing that can be equipped on a unit in your army. That's kind of cool. I'm going to take the Glory, I think, because it's like a lot of glory. Okay, Tzinch's gift unlocks the teleport stance for all armies, which seems pretty great.
Supreme Champion.
Bloodletting. Okay, this is the bar that other Khorne army had. The more victories in battle, the stronger this Khorne host will become. However, inactivity will cause the Bloodletting to decline. So right now, we're at the lowest level, 0 to 2. Oh, no, sorry. This area is 0 to 2. It's not telling me my current level. But we are... So when... Ooh, wow. When our army's at inactive, we get minus 10 growth in all provinces. That sucks a lot. But even just a little bit of... Yeah, wow. The amount of bonus growth you get everywhere for even just a little bit of bloodletting is really tremendous.
So much power.
I mean, I'd like to wait one more turn. I'd like to be healed up a little bit more. I feel like we are always waiting for healing. And we're probably going to want to do a little bit of combining here. Let's merge y'all together. You have to be careful when merging units together because a large number of low rank units will sort of overtake the experience of your higher rank units. You have to be have to be smart about not introducing too many rookies to a group. Okay, so we'll take 1 turn of rest here. We gained a ton of demonic gifts there that I didn't even look at. We should probably do that. Castalton, must you? Must we at this moment? Once we have the upgrade we're looking for on the Doomkeep, we are definitely going to raise that second army. It's just a matter of surviving until then. But once again, I think we're going to have a little bit of luck here in that our enemies do not play well together. What in the hell is he doing? I am very annoyed by this. Why are you sieging the goblin? Just burn it. Do you really think you couldn't just burn it? And this is a rebel army that's been spawned here. Yeah, a rebel uprising.
Chaos incarnate.
Well, at this point, there's not a lot I can do about Hamathane Frost. He's just full speed hauling ass here, and I can't. Yeah.
Denied.
His army is slowly dying from the disease.
Kislev's fallen champion.
I die before betraying Kislev.
Yeah, I think we have to turn south. I think we have to move south and try to
Seek prey.
make this work. We couldn't get far enough to defend the Beyblades this turn anyway, so we'll do a little ambush move. You can see the little red circle is the area that, if an enemy enters it, we get an ambush chance against them. So Grotzlik can't get across the bridge without entering our circle. And let's have a look at all these demonic gifts we've gained access to. So, Magic Body gives us the ability to increase our power recharge. That seems fine. Yeah, this is a lot of extra magic. The Avian Physique. That's not that avian. Some Armored Ashen Wings. Giving us a Mystifying Miasma that does a fair amount of damage. Duration 14 seconds. Yeah, that's a fair amount of damage. Armor and speed. So we lose the movement thing and we lose the physical resistance. But honestly, that's pretty good direct damage for a spell that only costs 5 wins. Or we could gain Arcane Flight, passive ability, Spell Mastery plus 10%. I have no idea what Spell Mastery does. 5% ward save. You know, I don't hate 100 HP and 5% ward save. We lose our dash basically, but it's like, as dashes go, this it's fine. I don't think it's a big loss. I'm really, well, you know, I was gonna say I am not in love with the idea of losing 15 melee attack, but what if 2 arms? What if 2 knife arms? A pretty expensive bombardment spell. I don't know that we need it. I'm gonna keep our muscular arms for the moment. So we're always unlocking more and more right arms. This is actually pretty solid upgrade from the basic muscular. For 30 of every 90 seconds, just plus 50% weapon damage. That's pretty good. Spirit Leech does quite a bit of damage to a single target. That's fine. Also, plus 10 melee attack on this. The Nurgle parts have a fair amount of... Yeah, actually, this is pretty interesting too. So what, we would lose Mortal Blow. we'd be able to equip a weapon in our hand. Do we have a weapon that's like very compelling? Honestly, no. A lot of these weapons are pretty boring. I think we'll stick with the knife arm for the moment. Another level of demonic onslaught. Sorry, this is the part that we're getting demonic onslaught from already. I gotta be honest with you. I feel like maybe this is the right move. I want this. I was intending to push for this set, but we got to get the other Doom parts first. So maybe Bejeweled Greaves in the meantime. Oh, plus the feet on that are absolutely wicked. So yeah, just a little bit of additional toughness here. We're losing 5 melee attack, which I'm not like wild about, but we're still in the 70s, which is high. Good and high. Trades out 10 armor for 5 physical resist. I'm not sure if I think that's better or not, honestly. Physical resistance is better against better troops because better troops tend to have more armor piercing. So I guess that's a reasonable argument for the battle-worn tail, which is very similar, except it has some Steve Martin-style cosmetic arrows. The Fierce Prince. Plus 10 bonus versus infantry for all of the corner-aligned units in your whole army is potentially really, really powerful if you've built around it. And we haven't picked up any other offhand yet. We haven't picked up another two-handed weapon that I think makes sense to go over the knife hand and shield. All right. Yeah, I think we're
Malignancy pervades.
I think we're good here. I'm really hoping Grotzlik will just run north and plow right through the ambush. And make my life so much easier. And then since we're standing in friendly territory, we'd get a little bit of post-ambush healing and be able to just push south immediately. Come on, you know you want to cross that bridge? Aha, you fool!
Feast of bloodshed awaits.
Lost 325. It's... oh, man. I should have manually resolved that, apparently. That should have been basically free.
Bestow ruination upon them.
Well, now we have a problem.
Blood Reaper.
A score of your hell-sent warriors lie slaughtered, and astride their hacked-apart corpses stands one of their own, screaming in unbridled fury as its very flesh violently reshapes itself. Crimson skin, rippling red muscle, and the acrid tang of hellfire. The mark of Khorne, the blood god. So we got ourselves a free Blood Reaper. Blood Reaper is good at assaults and assassination, and also assaults. You know, this might be a map hero, because I think we could kind of use one.
Blood Reaper City.
Oh, neat. That is definitely a new feature. You actually can ask people to get out of your territory.
Power.
And, like, you could ask pretty hard, in fact. So we're going to push further here. Although, actually, it's not really worth pushing into this next area. And we don't even know what this is. Armor for Chaos Fury, Spawn of Slaanesh, and Fiends of Slaanesh. So we don't really have... let me take that skill point back. We don't really necessarily have the units necessary to actually take advantage of this stuff. Maybe we should fall back and grab something else? Recruitment cost down feels like a terrible waste. It's just like not a very powerful skill. We probably don't need more control. We could, of course, pursue a significant reduction in the upkeep of our Slanesh units. We're not paying very much for them now, but because the units we have are sort of like low value, but eventually we're going to have better stuff. And those good units do get mighty expensive. Alright, so now we have the cheapest, lowest cooldown version of Slicing Shards with the ability to overcast it. So yeah, this has become complicated because now enemies are coordinating to attack the far corners of our territory, despite the fact that they should hate each other.
Hellish power.
I think I still like Causes Terror on all of our units. So they're bringing up a reinforcement army. I mean, the actual fact is I just can't defend this. So I think what we're gonna do here is we're gonna move short.
Dark destiny awaits.
Since we can't get to him this turn anyway. Oh my god, it won't allow me to take ambush stance up in view of another player's army, even if that player is friendly. Well...
Crushing maw.
Okay, so we did gain... become audacious. It's really weird that we only got this trait now, because we have definitely put a lot of personal involved in combat time in. It's just now beginning the first trait for that is pretty strange. So we keep our Tempered Rage. We trade out the explosion thing for a bunch of melee defense and... Well, no, I guess that's it. I think I kind of like that explosion. Certainly as long as we're fighting a lot of, like, kind of bad enemies. A Staff of Reaping. Still not really all that compelling. So a lot of these weapons, like, part of what makes them valuable, these things that were being offered, is that they have better armor piercing than the knife arm that we're using right now. But the problem with that is we're not really facing enemies that have much in the way of armor. We don't benefit from armor piercing almost at all at the moment. So yeah, I guess we'll just get aggressive here. We'll let Castalton know that he does not have time. And... yeah, maybe the move here is... Okay, let me fold the smaller number of low-level recruits in. The move here is probably get another Marauder unit. That'll be a healthier army overall. And... yep, we continue to wait. We're going to spend a lot on recruitment and recruitment buildings shortly after we do the upgrade here, so... that's part of the reason I'm banking as much money as I'm banking. I guess here's a question. Could we get you to... could we,
looking forward to this.
get a peace treaty?
Prepare to be ripped to shreds.
No, you really don't want anything from me. Alright, well, we're going to have to just recapture some stuff. It's very annoying, though, that he's attacking the far corner of our lands. Because, like, he can't hold that. There's no version of this where he gets to keep that, even if he takes it. But it is the thing that will be most annoying for me. He just wants to do this. Interesting. So... anti-large missile and spear infantry. His whole army is bows. Everything here has a bow. Also, none of it has any armor. Then he's got a cavalry unit, a missile cavalry unit, and an elemental bear. A mighty monster, it looks like. I think we just stand and fight. Like, we can retreat here, but he didn't have to spend very much movement to get to us. He will definitely be able to chase us down. Like, we're going to have to do the fight. So we may as well just stand here. Plus, if we win this fight, then our army doesn't have to move afterward, and that will mean that our the recruitment that we plugged in for last turn doesn't break. Whereas if we retreated, or if we lose this and get forced backward, the marauder recruitment that we were doing will stop. So I'm not sure why the game thinks we're going to lose this one. This seems like a win to me. Maybe there's something I don't know about that bear. I mean, it's like a cool monster unit for sure. Maybe it'll be completely unconquerable. But I think a lot of the basic units that this guy's using are kind of awful. So why am I not allowed to deploy sort of closer to the rock here? Because I want to stand right here and just be able to shoot down, you know? So a thing that's worth noting is that because they attacked us, they have to come to us if the battle timer runs out, defender wins. So, like, we don't have to do anything. We can just stand back here.
Endless craving.
And I don't know that it, like, with his whole army being made of archers and stuff, I don't know that it, like, makes a lot of sense for us to press. I think we get them to come to us.
The Demon Prince.
Luscious deviants.
So how big is the area on slicing shards?
Drink
It's not
their
very.
blood. Slay their souls for chaos.
Yeah, that doesn't increase it any. Yeah, their entire army is archers. I could have, I suppose, like, tried to embed my units in these little perfectly round areas of trees at the sides of the map, which are super weird. Okay, so they're approaching range. We're just going to charge in under cover of our shields. Their bows are not very powerful. And then we're going to get into melee and we're just going to rip them to pieces, right? And because they're moving, they're not going to get as much firing time because they don't get to be... We want to start moving on them while they're still moving, but while they're close to us so that they don't get time to set up. So I think I want to let them approach a little bit more. But basically, I'm just trying to deny them a... Okay, I think that's the charge right there. And I mean, my units are gonna kick the hell out of them in actual melee. This is terrible news if they don't deal a pretty significant amount of damage in the approach stage. We probably want the non-shielded units to go in a little bit later. And we're gonna have the flyers sort of wheel out to this side. Well, these flyers, obviously. The Lord will wheel out to this side. And our ranged units, yeah, man. Taking the high ground when a big portion of the high ground isn't actually pathable terrain really sucks. So our range is so short that we can't even take advantage. Okay. So I think we are going to want to drop a slicing shards. And I can do it right now, actually. I didn't realize how incredibly long the range on this is. So right here is where they have some overlap, like they have extra units coming in behind. Let's do that. God, the casting time on that may as well be a billion years. Has it still not gone off? It's like a spell that's designed to never be able to do damage. That's wild. Yeah, I didn't realize it was going to take her a full 10 seconds to actually execute, or I wouldn't have bothered. Okay, so they have depleted our lord's shield, but haven't actually done any damage yet. Okay, we close to melee pretty effortlessly. They aren't even bringing the bear forward yet, which is interesting. Okay, let's do that. And then you lot just approach very aggressively. And now that now that many of the archers are engaged, this is a better time to bring forward the shieldless units. I kind of want to have my range just go straight for the bear, but we should probably try to knock these things out. We'll get a moment of respite here as they get knocked down by the lash.
Inflict exquisite suffering.
Let's just try to make sure they don't get back up. You can see over here that my units are just kind of disregarding their orders, which they often seem to do. Okay, you're fighting Kossars. So you have that to attack. You have this to attack. Actually, sorry. Let me issue these orders in a slightly more sensible way. All right, we still have more flyers behind. Okay.
Alores.
So the bear is going to complicate things a little bit. My guess is that the bear is going to win combat wherever it is, until we can sort of pull our people apart to focus on it more. This might be a good time for all of the ranged units to exclusively focus on the bear. Okay. Yep, flyers are catching archers. This side is not coming apart quite as quickly as I might like.
Retreating!
This will be exquisite.
Okay, she's changed targets without being told to do that. It was a little annoying.
Their flesh.
Is she be able to fight their lord? I know she's a good fighter, but hold on a second. We need to do a little stat read here. So 56 attack, 55 defense against 73 attack, 40 defense. So she's gonna be trading pretty heavily with him, but she has like half of his HP. So obviously that's a thing that needs to not be happening. How are we going to deal with that? So actually, the horrors are tearing through the Great Bear much faster than I thought they would. Apparently, the thing does not have good defenses against range attack. We're breaking this side up pretty well now, but I'm seeing a lot of units that should have given up that aren't giving up, which is a problem, obviously. Also, just at this point, I'm just like compulsively reissuing orders because I never feel like I know when my units are going to decide they're done doing a thing I told them to do. So we don't really have a great plan for dealing with this bear. Maybe I should just drop like slicing shards. So she's got to run away and she's got to cast a spell that's like pretty meaningful while she's doing it. And I just don't know what that ends up being, but she's got to get away from their lord. She cannot handle that fight.
Faster, quicker.
And as soon as she starts casting, of course, the cavalry are clearing the area.
I move. Moving.
Oh, you gotta get out of there.
Delighted.
Okay, this side's broken enough that I think we can bring the Lord over. So let's handle this. Have the ranged units try to separate. There's no way we're going to get the bear to not be attacking any of us. The goal here is just to have the 3 ranged units so separate that whichever 2 units are not being attacked, they can be firing constantly into its flank, because it's actually going down. Like, this is working. Yeah, over here we are seeing some evidence of the flyers. Honestly, though, our units are holding their orders pretty well today. All right, we can get a flank attack there. Really, really worried about my Alurus, and she is getting completely surrounded here.
Divine dance. I
All right,
see.
try to break out this way. Try to break out this way. The horses went the other way.
On to pleasure.
Okay, because one thing she is very, very fast.
Stop. Come to me. Delighted to.
Okay. So I think she's getting away. I think our Lord is going to be a match for their Lord in straight combat. At the very least, with comparable melee stats, we get the huge advantage of the fact that we get to knock people down all the time with our attacks. He is not going to be doing the same to us. There's some kind of magic going on over here, and I don't really have the ability to do much about it, sadly. Okay, so you stay focused there. You could run in toward the middle here, but honestly, this one unit of Bloodletters is kind of handling this whole set. Actually, you can just help crush up these Kossars here. This battle ended up being a little bit more dangerous than I thought it was going to be. I will say I'm like very impressed with how our ranged units are holding up under the assault of that bear. That's something that I was not expecting.
Behold my divinity!
Probably not worth exploding on a single guy. Alright. Sorry, I know I'm pausing a ton, but trying to keep some pretty low tier units alive against this bear. Okay, there's my 6. So I think we can target this lash through here in a way that doesn't really hit our own units. That'll buy us a little bit of time to do violence. Oh, our Lord's shield completely regenerated while we were flying over, which is super cool. And yeah, this side is happening. Turn around and attack those guys. Keep letting blood. Okay, we're gonna make Khorne proud. So much bloodletting happening today. One of the units of Chaos Furies got wiped out, and I think we probably have to try to withdraw the plague bugs because we're just getting, yeah, they have enough cavalry that they're able to make this a problem. And I would really not like to lose those plague bugs. We cannot replace them, and they have turned out to be actually like really, really excellent.
Unbridled chaos!
Alright, our Lord will soon have killed their Lord. Keep the dance up. Put some permanent breaks over here.
I am ready. Attack.
What is this? Chain regeneration. Ooh. So I'm gonna have one of you focus here. One of you needs to give chase there. Let's let's see. Most of this stuff has permanently given up. I think we've really broken a lot of their morale. A lot of their units are like in permanent wavering state. Do we want to just bring the Nurgle drones back in? Because they've kind of recommitted their bodies already. Probably not. Let's just pull the Nurgle drones out. I think their job is done here. The bear is very close to dead. These units who broke and fled have rallied. Let's get them back in. And yeah, you're gonna just chop up some horses. That's the plan.
The Demon Prince.
If their lord were to die at this point, the whole army would instantly surrender, I'm pretty sure. It's looking like that's not too far off. Okay. We got through the bear, and we didn't even actually lose any of the ranged units. In fact, yeah, just a unit of Chaos Furies. The ranged units actually didn't even, hardly took any damage, which is really impressive considering how long that monster was in on them. Our army performed very, very well there. I think over my expectations even. Also, random gifts from the Chaos Gods. Like, very cool flavor, and also every time that little circle on the side of the screen lights up, I get really excited. It's just like a fun mechanic to play with. Some of our Marauder units are pushing into silver ranks now. The ranged units and the Flyers are doing even better, at least the Flyers that can survive. And while Iglixis may only have gotten 47 kills, they were important kills. Gestalten got 0. Take that. So, sacrifices to Undivided Glory. All of a sudden, their reinforcements are like, maybe this is a mistake. Alright, I've been a little frustrated, if I'm honest. I've been a little frustrated with the amount that we are just running back and forth in the same area, playing goalie against the entire forces of the world arrayed against us. But I think we're approaching an end to that. I think it will soon be time to go on the march. Maybe we want to start the recruiting now. The thing is, I want to. Oh, hold on.
The god bear roars in pain. A death rattle felt across the dimensions. Its arcane energy rips across the mortal plane, creating rifts and scarring the world with gateways into the Chaos Realms.
Okay. These things. Oh, yes. Whenever you defeat a legendary lord in combat, you receive a trait unique to that lord. So +6 leadership when in owned territory for all of the units in your army. The Kislevite Patriarch's obsession with dogma and control proved to be his undoing in battle. I think it was the size of the demon he was fighting that was most of it. Determined to please Khorne further, his servants elect to brand their own hides with his flaming icon. Their screams are beyond horrifying, and the caustic stench of burning demon flesh is unforgettable, but the rite plunges them into an enduring hunger for slaughter, requiring no other sustenance, so we don't have to pay them anymore. For a while.
The Tome of Fate knows all. The rifts are our opportunity to reach the Chaos Realms. Now, I truly earn my fee. And yet, a gateway opens both ways. While we may traverse the rifts to enter the realm of chaos, or even be transported to far-flung areas of this world, we must close the gateways not required, or the demon tide that flows forth will lay your lands in ruin.
Okay, that's concerning. So the rifts seem to be color-coded. Right, we got what must be a Khorne rift over here. This is obviously a Slaanesh rift.
Demon Prince.
Not 100% sure what to make of those. We'll get back to it in a second here. Let's finish leveling up Intimate Allies.
I grow ever more unstoppable.
For you, I think let's grab Earthing, because I do overcast with her quite a bit. So next level we can get Arcane Conduit, which will be very helpful. And then
Blood Reaper.
you need to get out here and start practicing. Well, do I want to do this? Can you interact with these in any way? You can. I mean, go ahead and stick your head through there, I guess. Let's see what's on the other side.
To trespass upon the Chaos Realms is to step into a nightmare. 4 domains ruled by their cruel masters. Nurgle, the master of plagues. Slaanesh, the lord of excess. Tzeentch, the changer of ways. And Khorne, the blood god. We must visit each realm and steal a soul from a demon prince. For it is these souls, one from each of the great powers, merged together, that shall light the hidden path to the Forge.
Okay. So only our faction leader can actually enter the realms. But we could just close this one down. I mean, we're going to want to shut down some of these, right? But maybe I want to keep the one that's in my territory open. Or maybe having one in my territory is bad. Let's close this one. And we'll try to use the one to the north. This is probably not a good idea to have a demon gateway in between all of my settlements.
Demon Prince.
And then I can't quite attack you. Yeah, you're just barely out of range.
Deluded fool.
Kastalton is doing a fine job of fleeing. I think I'm going to go park in the Bay of Blades for a second here. Just get some replenishment.
Join the ruinous crusade.
Okay. So, the Doomkeep we can start the level up next turn. So we're just going to go ahead and go to next turn. Do you have any movement left?
Destroyer.
Oh, you do. Alright, so none of the armies around here are actually problems. I guess I'm going to have you go south. So we're going to train Cran here to be good at assassinating enemy units. We gained access to some armored pestilent wings. Seems like it could be a good idea. What if we wore armor on our giant wings? Wouldn't that be a fun idea? So 10 armor, hit points. I mean, we lose the ward save. And we get a passive 9 melee defense whenever we're in... This doesn't seem good at all. I'll keep my ward save, thanks. Passive ability, Chaos Armor. Melee damage reflection, 28. Oh. Well, now that's interesting. 10 armor, 10 defense, 10% ward save. Yo, 10 melee attack is a lot to lose. But I think we'll make it up somewhere else. I think this is actually really good. Yeah, that's a lot of defensive ability. Some extra missile block chance, which is obviously hugely valuable. And then damage reflection in melee. That's going to make us better at fighting everything. Like, that's very exciting. So yeah, our melee attack's down to 63. That's lower than I would like. We should definitely do something about that. Alright. End turn. Nothing else. Yeah, nothing else of terrible import happened. And still our lands are full of invaders. I appreciate that all of Kastalton's armies learned the lesson that we taught there, at least. It has been difficult going so far, but we have some pretty powerful units that have helped pull us through here. I really wish I had been a little bit more careful with the scary seahorse guys. Because I feel like that unit was pretty good, and I squandered them. And I do feel like they would have been helpful through a lot of the rest of this. Poxmakers of Nurgle has used their own arcane means to bypass the Maelstrom and enter Tzeentch's realm intent on claiming a demon prince's twisted soul. If they succeed, it will be a step closer to reaching the dying god before you. So yeah, we are racing here. Alright, yep, everybody's entering places looking for souls. The thing is, I'm actually very busy. So that's going to take 5 turns to finish. But yeah, it'll be, obviously, it'll be pretty significant once we get it. And in the interim, we just have to haul ass north, and maybe we can still run Hamathane Frost off.
Stragglers will be slain.
Wait, I do have access to a teleport stance. Okay, it looks like the teleport stance is pretty short-ranged. It just lets us ignore terrain,
Or face my wrath.
which obviously, like, has its benefits.
Dark destiny awaits. Mother.
Yeah, Cran is just going to go forth and interfere in the what do you call it? The business, the affairs of the Southern Realms. So he'll probably attack fairly soon, but this way at least we're, like, potentially defending from Theoderic Gosser. I do wish that
Not likely.
enemy armies took a little bit more attrition damage. I understand why they dial that down on high difficulties, but I feel like they maybe do it a little too much. Because, like, you should still get some benefit for forcing enemies into an attrition state. Oh well. I think that is probably quite a bit more than I actually had time for. But you know what? The game's very fun. It's extremely compelling to play. So that's going to be it for us for today, or for this episode at least. And thank you all so much for watching. There's probably more coming. There's, at the very least, there'll be some over the weekend. There might be several, depending. Because, gosh, I'm having a good time. When you come back next time, maybe we're going into a Chaos Realm? I don't know. We kind of have a lot of problems on this side of the portal. We'll see. And we'll see you then.